The love I feel for you is so strong, yet the world around me is trying to pull me in a different direction. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to jump into the unknown, but I'm held back by the fears of those who love me. How do I explain to her that I'm not a child anymore, that my decisions are my own? She doesn't understand that love isn't something I can turn off just because she's afraid of what it might mean. It's hard to be torn between two loves, the one that comes from a mother who only wants the best for me, and the one that comes from a place of deep connection and desire. How can I choose between them when both feel so right? The thought of returning to you fills me with excitement, but it's always tempered with the reality of my mother's fears. How can I make her see that loving you is not a mistake, but the truest thing I've ever felt? Every moment that passes without you feels like a piece of me is being left behind. But then the weight of my mother's love and concern pulls me back, reminding me that my choices affect more than just myself. I wish there was an easy way to tell her how I feel, to make her understand that my love for you isn't a rebellion, but a decision to live authentically. But I don't know how to explain that without hurting her. The distance between us grows with every day I'm forced to stay away. The more I try to convince myself that this is for the best, the more I realize that my heart isn't aligned with my mother's choices. It feels like I'm stuck in a game where no matter how much I want to win, I'm always one step behind. She holds the cards, and I'm left to wonder if I'll ever have the strength to take control of my own life. I can feel the pull of your love from miles away, but it's drowned out by the weight of my mother's voice, always warning me of what could go wrong. How do I trust myself when I'm caught between the love I have for you and the love I owe her? My thoughts are consumed with you, but every time I try to step closer to the future we could have, I feel my mother's presence pushing me back. It's like I'm stuck between two worlds, neither of which is truly my own. I don't know how to explain to her that my love for you is not a rebellion. It's a choice. It's me following my heart, something I've never been able to do fully until now. My soul longs for the peace I find in your arms, yet every time I try to move closer to that peace, the fear and doubt from my mother stand in my way, creating a barrier I can't seem to cross. I try to picture my future with you, but the image always fades when I think of the hurt I might cause my mother. How can I move forward when I'm being pulled in opposite directions by the two people I love most? There are times when I feel so torn, so lost between the love I have for you and the love I feel for her. It's like I'm standing on the edge, looking out at a life with you, but unable to step forward because of the invisible chains that bind me. I don't want to hurt her, but I don't want to hurt myself either. How do I balance my love for you with my obligation to her? Every decision feels like a sacrifice, and I'm not sure how much longer I can keep sacrificing my happiness. The struggle between love and duty is one that I never thought I'd have to face. But now, with every step I take toward you, I feel the weight of my mother's love and protection holding me back. Every time I try to explain my feelings, I'm met with silence, confusion, or worse, disappointment. She doesn't understand, and it breaks me. How can I make her see that the love I feel for you is real? I feel like I'm standing at a crossroads, caught between two loves, two worlds, and two sets of expectations. How do I choose a path when both feels so right, yet so wrong? I'm beginning to realize that sometimes love means making a choices, but it doesn't make the choice any easier when both options are filled with consequences. The love I feel for you isn't something that can be undone or hidden, but my mother's worries weigh heavy on me, like a shadow I can't shake, even when I want to be with you more than anything. It's hard to find peace when the person you love the most is torn between what feels right and what feels expected. Every time I try to come back to you, I feel her doubts clouding my every step. My heart tells me to be with you, to take the leap and trust in the love we have, but my mother's voice keeps echoing, telling me to stay where it's safe. How do I reconcile these two parts of myself? It's as though I'm living in two realities. One is filled with love, freedom, and the person I want to be with, while the other is filled with fear, doubt, and obligations I can't ignore. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation where love is tested by the people I care about the most. The distance between us isn't just physical, it's the emotional weight of every decision that has been made on my behalf without me. Every time I try to take a step back towards you, my heart fills with an ache that only you understand. But my mother's words, filled with concern, control, and love, echo in my mind, making every move seem impossible. There are days when the thought of being with you again feels like a distant dream. My soul longs for you, yet my heart is heavy with the invisible strings that tie me to a home where I'm told to stay away from you. I don't understand why she can't see that I'm happier when I'm with you. The love I have for you is pure and real, but every time I try to bridge that gap, her fear becomes my prison. How can I explain to her that my heart is torn? One part of me longs for freedom to return to you, but the other is bound by loyalty and obligation to a mother who doesn't understand the depths of my feelings for you. I want to come back to you, but it feels like an impossible task when my mother lays me back with her constant worry and doubt. How do you convince someone that love is not a mistake when all they see is danger? My thoughts are scattered, constantly shifting between the love I feel for you and the pressure of being someone I'm not, just to keep the peace with the person who's always been there for me. The distance between us isn't just measured in miles, it's in the looks, the conversations, the advice that weighs heavy on me, all pointing me in the direction opposite of where my heart wants to go. I try to explain to her that my love for you is not something that can be controlled. Yet she continues to hold me back, telling me that it's not the right time, that I'm not ready. But how can I ever be ready if she never lets me choose for myself? There's a constant battle raging within me. Part of me wants to follow my heart and be with you, but the other part is bound by a love for a mother who doesn't understand. It's like I'm caught between two worlds, neither of which truly feel like home. The weight of the situation presses down on me every day. The more I try to explain my feelings to her, the more I realize that she doesn't see me, my desires, my needs. She sees a child, not the person I've become. I can't help but wonder if I'll ever truly be free to make my own choices, to come back to you without fear of disappointing the person who's always been there for me. But how much longer can I sacrifice my own happiness? When you're in love, it's hard to see the boundaries set by those who care about you. They're trying to protect you, but it feels like they're holding you back from something that could be everything you've been waiting for. Every time I imagine myself walking back into your arms, I feel a sense of peace. But then my mind drifts to her, to the disappointment I know she'll feel. I feel like I'm letting down the person who's loved me unconditionally, and it breaks my heart. I can't explain to her why I feel so strongly about you. She doesn't understand how deep my love for you runs. All she sees is a danger, a threat to my well-being. How do I make her understand that loving you is the safest thing I could ever do? It's like my mother's love is a cage, and I'm the bird longing to fly free. But every time I think about spreading my wings, I feel the chains pull tighter, as if I'm being held hostage by expectations that aren't mine to carry. I just want to come back to you, but I don't know how to break free. It's not just about defying her. It's about facing the reality that loving you may not be enough to convince her to let go of her fears. The hardest part is the guilt. The guilt of wanting something for myself, something that makes me happy, yet feeling like I'm betraying someone who has only ever wanted what's best for me. It's a constant battle inside of me. I long to be with you, to feel your love, but my mother's words haunt me. What if she's right? What if the choice to be with you is the wrong one? There are days when I feel so torn, when I question whether my love for you is enough to overcome the barriers she's put up. I wish I could find a way to make her see the light, to show her that I'm not just chasing a dream, I'm chasing happiness. I wonder if anyone has ever been in this position before, stuck between love and duty. How do you choose between the person who has always been there for you and the person who holds your heart? I feel like I'm suffocating under the weight of this situation. Every time I try to move towards you, her fears get in the way, and I can't help but wonder how long I'll have to stay silent, trapped in this dilemma.